Hey guys, welcome to another episode in the playthrough of AC Unity. Still in the epilogue, trying to already 100% and platinum the game earlier, but still reading up on all the database entries, which I think are an integral part of a deep playthrough. Getting also up to grips with the lore and the backstories of the locations and the peoples in the game. We only have one section left, I think, and that is the Cafe Theater headquarters section in the database where we are now. So let's just jump in that. After that, I will be starting the Dead Kings DLC in a separate playlist. But here we go. First, totally finish the main game. Never mind these exclamation marks, they are a bit buggy. They still remain there, even if I have already clicked everything. This one is the one we still need to do. Alright, Herod A. Mariam fails to impress. Mariam, with an M and an N. That's a bit weird. This clipping is from a newspaper dated July 12, 1782. It is badly crumpled as though someone once weighted it up into a small bowl. A theatrical review by Mademoiselle Lecouvreur. Last evening I had the pleasure, if indeed pleasure it can be called, of seeing very nearly the worst production of Voltaire's Herod et Mariam at Café Theatre on Ile Saint-Louis. Never has the tragic death of the Queen of Judea been rendered with more glaring ineptitude. M. Dupre's Herod has all the pathos of a fishmonger who's especially ashamed of his day's catch, and Mademoiselle Arcadie's Mariam seems able to do little more than wail like a child denied a treat. As to the supporting cast, I shall only say that the director would have been better served by releasing a dozen Barbary apes into the theatre. That at least might have incited the audience to a modicum of excitement. As to the sets and the costuming, which should richly evoke the ancient world of Jerusalem, the director's vision seems limited to papier-mâché temples and badly unconvincing false beards. Theatre is a world of the imagination, to be sure, but this is cheap, shoddy production. But this cheap, shoddy production resembles nothing so much as small children picking up sticks and proclaiming themselves Mousquetaires de la Garde. In short, I hated this play. I hated this play. If you good readers have any respect for Monsieur Alouette's work, I caution you to stay far, far away. Alright, that's a pretty harsh review. Journal of Thomas de Carignan, October 12, 1307. It is done. All is in readiness, and there is naught left to do but wait for the coming of the dawn. Mentor Guillaume de Nogaret has bent the king's will to ours, and with Benedict dead at Perugia, Rome is with us as well. And yet I find my heart gripped with sudden misgivings. Dante and Domenico assure me that this is a great victory, that we will annihilate them root and branch, but I wonder, in breaking the Templars' public facades, are we merely driving them into the shadows? 50 years ago the Templars thought us destroyed after all. Vanishing from the public eye has proven our greatest strength in this interminable war. Are we now granting the same boon to our enemies? Alright, interminable. One moment, I'm just curious. Interminable. Endless or apparently endless? Alright, on the flight of the nobility. This pamphlet is printed on the finest quality paper and includes many fine woodcut illustrations. In these desperate times we hear much of the flight of the poor, but little of the flight of the nobility. Alright, one moment. I know flight, it's like duty or mission or No, it is actually bad situation, I guess. A dangerous, difficult, or otherwise unfortunate situation. Alright. Yet why have we not? For the poor have always been poor, as such they have nothing more to lose, but we stand to lose all. We have been turned out of our homes, had our goods seized by mobs who claim to represent the people. We have been attacked in the streets, arrested and even murdered, simply for the crime of inheriting a title. And yet without our wealth, where is France? For who will employ the poor if not for the rich? Who will employ the pastry maker if the king throws no party for him to cater? Who will employ a groundskeeper if not a count with grounds to keep? Who indeed will employ even the lowliest of tanners without we of the good nobility to buy their shockingly priced goods? No, there is no France without us. We of the second estate are the pillars which uphold our society. The very fact of this can be seen in the ways in which the lower classes have decided to express their displeasure. It began with their ignorance of protocol in attempting to continue the Estates General in a mere tennis court, without the blessing of the rightful king, but it did not end there. They have broken open armories and stolen weapons. They have marched upon palaces and broken inside to threaten the king. They have threatened their betters in the street. Is this angry mob really an effective way to govern a nation? I submit that it is not. Nobles of France, rise up and reclaim your titles. Call upon friends and family abroad to aid us in our time of peril. We must put an end to this revolution, for without us, France is lost. Alright, report on the recruitment of Mademoiselle La Maupin. This letter is written, I think we already read this one, but I will read it again. This letter is written in a strong flowing hand in a calligraphic style popular near the end of the last century. The following are the words of brother assassin Louis-Joseph d'Albert de Ligne, Comte d'Albert, as set down by master assassin Maréchal, on account of the former being grievously wounded in his shoulder. With further commentary by M. Maréchal, like so. On instruction of my mentor, I set forth for Ville Perdue on my steed Argent, a fine stallion from good Andalusian stock. Brother d'Albert here digresses at length upon the virtues of his steeds. Deeming this irrelevant to the business of the Brotherhood, I have excised it. Alright, one moment. It's a nice word. Excise. A tax levied on certain goods and commodities produced or sold within the country and on licenses granted for certain activities. Alright, that's something totally different. Removed by cutting. To remove something, especially by cutting. During a 3-hour operation, 6 tumors were excised from the wall of the patient's stomach. Alright. My business was the identification and recruitment of potential initiate, swordsman and singer of some repute, a fellow by the name of La Maupin. I told him she was a woman. The broadsheets announcing her fencing demonstration proclaimed her a woman. Her name takes the feminine case. Brother d'Albert clearly needs to meditate upon the improvement of his senses. Much to my surprise, when I arrived at the tavern where I was to find the gentleman, what I found was instead plainly a young woman, fair of countenance and of hair, singing bawdy chansonnette and demonstrating swordplay for an admiring crowd. My brother assassins and I approached her, whereupon I complimented her most highly upon her talents and inquired if we might speak. However, for reasons surpassing understanding, she became incensed at my words and threatened all 3 of us. Alright, sorry, I'm just doing a couple of more learning moments. Countenance. I think that is appearance or something. A person's face or facial expression. Support or approval. Alright. And then also incense. Perfume with incense, a gum, spice or other substance that is burnt for the sweet smell it produces. That's not what we want. To cause someone to be extremely angry. The editor said a lot of readers would be incensed by my article in class. Alright, so it's being enraged. She became incensed at my words and threatened all three of us. From the testimony of brothers Dalbert's comrades, his exact words were, I've listened to your chirping, oh pretty birds, now tell me of your plumage. My brothers rushed nobly to my defense, but showed some non-gentlemanly hesitation in striking a woman. Not ungentlemanly hesitation in striking a woman. I likewise attempted to talk her down, but taking my hesitation to shed blood as a sign of weakness, the mademoiselle struck me through the right shoulder so that her blade protruded 6 inches from my back. Doubtless shocked by the sight of blood, she fled the scene, while my brothers helped me to the village barber. The accounts of Brother Dalbert's brothers tell a rather different story, that the young lady roundly trounced all three of them, struck Brother Dalbert a crippling blow, and then withdrew to the bar to order a cup of burgundy. Based on this irrational and illogical reaction, I must conclude that Mademoiselle Maupin would be a poor choice for recruitment. And having tutored the Mademoiselle personally in the arts of the stage, I must conclude that Brother Dalbert is a great ass and should no more be in charge of recruitments than an orang-utan should be in charge of the crockery. What is crockery? Is that like a chicken hen? Crockery. Or maybe vegetables storage? Meaning. Plates, dishes, cups and other similar items, especially ones made of earthenware or china. Alright, so it are like your utensils or your plates and dining equipment. Alright, and then I know the last one is very short. Report on the training of the initiate Charles Dorian. This report is written in a crude, blocky hand as though the scribe were unused to writing. Here's your goddamn progress report. Initiate Dorian is showing progress. Pierre Belec. Alright, and that formally concludes the full reading of the database. And of course, we also did 100% do everything in the game except the Assassin's Creed Unity Dead Kings DLC, which I will be continuing in the next episode immediately. Happy to be able to do that, because this database, goddammit, that was a lot of reading. I think it was some, I don't know, 6 or 7 episodes of 40 minutes. So let's say 6 episodes. That's 240 minutes. So that is 4 hours. No, it was way longer. I think it was maybe 10 episodes. I think it was 4 to 6 hours of reading. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. I already gave it's all in the description of the episodes, but I think some 7 or 8 episodes ago I finished the main storyline, and I already gave some impressions on the game itself. It's still, I stand by the title of the playthrough, one of very, I wouldn't say one of, yeah, maybe I do, one of the most underrated games ever. At least when it came out. Now there's a sudden revival of interest into it, but it's an amazing game. I have some pointers in that episode, which is a bit of an anticlimactic episode, because I had to replay the last campaign mission because I forgot to press record, so I didn't have any footage of it. So I did, which was fine, but then the actual ending cutscene, or a part of the ending cutscene, Arno's speech, plus the credits with some epic music, they do not play anymore if you have already played them once before. So that was a bit annoying, so I had to dig up Arno's speech from YouTube on my mobile and keep it to the microphone, so that at least it was somewhat included in this playthrough. But yeah, so that ending episode was a bit anticlimactic, because the actual credits and the music, it was originally, when I saw it before in the episode before it was pretty epic. But yeah, I did give my a bit of a recap of the points of the game, what I found the game to have done well, and also some complaints I had with the game. But overall, the summary was that the game does much more well than it does bad, or good than it does bad. So the game just has something, in my view. It's hard to put a finger on, but I think the game is more than the sum of its parts. It just has something special, with, of course, the city and Arno to a certain extent as well, being the center stage. The star of the attraction. It's amazingly well recreated Paris. The graphics, yeah, just look at it. They hold up so well even today. It's amazing, 8 years later. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next episode with the Dead Kings DLC. Looking forward to it. For the meantime, guys, you yourself, do not forget also to always keep on gaming. See you later.